Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this session. I'll just quickly begin with introducing our speaker, Deepak Ori, who is the CEO of Lebua Hotels. We'll start with a quick video just introducing Lebua. They operate 5 properties across Bangkok, New Zealand, and India. Can we have the video, please? Please join me in welcoming Mr. Ori.
Good afternoon. Today I'm going to talk about what Lebua is able to create, and it's something very first time in the world called vertical destination. If you all carry smartphones, if you Google vertical destination, you're going to get one song. There are more than 40,000 hotels all over the world. There are many tall structures all over the world. There are a lot of casino hotels in Las Vegas, in Macau, in Singapore, with tall structures, but no one has ever thought of creating something called vertical destination. There are a lot of horizontal destinations. You have Rodeo Drive, you have Clarke Quay in Singapore, you have Fashion District in Miami, you have Lang Kwai Fong in Hong Kong, but there has never been a hotel company created out of food and beverage, restaurants, lifestyle, and people's emotion. Before we go there, let me tell you how that whole idea came, and it didn't happen overnight. 46 years back, when I was 5-year-old, I'm 51 now. It's on Google, so I don't want to tell lies, though I do color my hair. So 46 years back, my father is from government service. I went with my father and he wanted to buy a shirt. And then I saw, that time in India, the milk would be given in bottles, and I saw a milk van that like a dinky toy, and I said, I want to buy that. And that time, the option or a tangible trait of we say in marketing terms in business school, a conjoint for my father was either to buy a shirt or buy that milk van for me. In fact, he loved me, so he bought a milk van. And that moment I realized that I have to achieve something in my life, and I have to achieve something unique, something different. It's 5 years. I did a lot of mistakes. Nobody will stand here and talk about their mistakes. We'll all talk about our achievements, our success. I did a lot of blunders. I did a lot of mistakes. And all those mistakes in my life inspired me to do one thing right. And that one thing right we did was the beginning of Lebua in year 2003. That was a tall building lying vacant for, I think, 6 years before I joined. It was 2003. And there was one space at the rooftop which no interior designer in the world wanted to do anything. Everybody said that place is not going to work because Thailand, like in India, is about when people go out to spend money, they're like rich people going to the hotels and they have their preferences in terms of brands. So people said, oh, this hotel is my brand, this hotel is my brand. Nothing beyond that is going to work. We couldn't find an interior designer. Googled it, ended up hiring an office designer because he was the only one who was ready to work. Now he is one of the biggest hospitality designer in Asia Pacific and Middle East, by far with the number of projects he has done. Anyway, we opened the place and you just saw that glimpse of one bar we created on the terrace, Sky Bar. And For first 3 months, that place had only 3 regular guests, me, our promoter and her mother. Until we came up with a marketing campaign that even after dark, our sky changes color. So what I'm going to try and tell you is every success story is there, but India has always exported engineers, doctors, we have software people, but if we go back to our history, we always had been saying Atithi Devo Bhava, hospitality. But hospitality has always been taken as a trade or a trait for people coming out of Europe or people coming out of the Western world. Nobody could think that Finnish of an Indian could even think what a caviar is, because our staple diet in different part of India is still very Indian. How could an Indian can understand what caviar is, what wine is, what oyster is, or all those kind of things. So that was also one whole thing that we wanted to defy, that it's not about a nationality, it's not about your origin, or it's not about your upbringing. If you want to do something or you want to create something, you can always create it. We created our brand of hotel out of food and beverage. We didn't want to create a brand out of the rooms for 2 reasons. We started something called Emotional Connect. Today is a time of e-commerce, it is time of computers. When you book a hotel room, you can always Google what is the rate. You can always know how the room look like, except the room number, and you know how to enter the hotel room. There's no surprise. How many of you here knows when you go to a restaurant what you're going to eat or what you're going to drink? Any one of you knows when you go? I also knew one time I got married, I thought I'm going to have a champagne there with my wife, and we had an argument. I ended up drinking whiskey on the rock. So when you enter the place, your options, everything change, because you see the place, you see the menu, you see the ambience, you see the energy, things change. So there's a lot of surprise, there's a lot of emotions that is involved there when you go to a restaurant. A lot of deals are done there, a lot of relationships, a lot of proposals, everything is taken there. You get connected to people. And hospitality is all about connection. So that was one reason we started with food and beverage. The second reason is simplicity. I was at that, I don't know how many of you were at the politics panel. That was, okay. We're talking about artificial intelligence there. You must have heard that, right? Artificial intelligence we're talking about e-commerce, we're talking about everything. Means now even Apple comes and tell you that what has been your screen time, that how many hours you have been on WhatsApp, how many minutes you have been on Facebook, or how many times you have been, that must be seconds, you are answering your official emails. We are more on WhatsApp with friends and Facebook. Where does the life lead? So much of clutter, so much of confusion, so much of these things. So we said we have to bring little bit of simplicity. So all our restaurants, everything about us is about simplicity. We defined our customers. When we open the property, we change the whole dynamics. We change the whole dynamics of business. In 2003, when we started, Amazon had 1,000 books on luxury. Today, 15 years later, Amazon still has less than 10,000 books on luxury. Luxury, how many business school teaches luxury management in the world? Anybody has that answer? Not more than 10. And still we all talk about luxury. Luxury is nothing but simplicity, identification. And we always say that, oh, buying this thing so expensive is a luxury. If it is a price tag, it's not a luxury, it's an experience. We grew up in India. I always say that in all the conferences. There's a company called Colgate-Palmolive. More than 50% of the profit during that time came from 1 rupee sachet of toothpaste that went to the villages. That time they used the tree bark to clean their teeth, and that was a luxury for them. So luxury necessarily is not expensive thing. It is about an experience. And what we have done at Labua, I'll come to the vertical destination, I'm just telling you the foundation of that, is created those experience and manage it. There have been brands like Chivas Regal, a whiskey brand, for 200 years has never done a whiskey for anyone. They did it for one country called Japan, and the second company they did it for Labua. There's a champagne called Perrier-Jouet, never created a champagne for anyone. It's been created for Labua. There has been a vodka which has been crafted for us, meaning the whole liquid inside has changed. Outside the name has been kept same. There's a very famous champagne called Rare, their first flagship store in the world. This champagne has been there since 1850, is in Bangkok with us. Now, how we are able to do this? How do you go to these brand names? There's right now there's a company which is very famous. I think it's one of the most luxurious brands in terms of money and also in terms of product, that they're creating glasses for us. We created a glass with a company, and that glass is at MoMA Museum in New York. So how you create things like that? How we are able to do things like that, and how we are able to get customers like that? And we're talking about Bangkok property. We are in Bangkok. And Bangkok is a corporate B city. There are no casinos there. At our place, okay, we have just opened a second champagne bar, but our previous champagne bar, which is 18 square meter, this is the second champagne bar, but there's a champagne bar which is 18 square meter, sells more champagne, a particular champagne, than whole of Singapore as a country, including duty-free shops, on a daily basis. When you enter our hotel room, you won't find the chandelier. You won't find those expensive things, but you will find the finest beds, you will find the finest bed sheets, the towers, because something that you are using on yourself is going to be a very, very high quality. Now what we decided was, and there was a professor from, I think, Harvard Business School, who visited us 4 years back and said, you know what, I've never seen such a queue. I thought it would be a McDonald's, but when you go up and look at the prices and see these kind of customers, it is completely unbelievable. What we created and what we are creating right now, I think there's a project we are working on. At the end of 2021, we'll be having 22 bars, 11 restaurants, 1 day club, 1 night club in one building under one roof, and has never been done anywhere in the world. Right now, as we are talking, we have 7 restaurants and 8 bars. We have already surpassed what a single structure in the world has. So it's not always about the might, the size, or about how big you are. It is about how big you want to be. It is about how much risk one can take. It is about how many mistakes you are doing. By doing mistakes, I always encourage when I go, this is not a business school, they say, some of you are business students. When I always go and give talks at the business school, I always encourage students to do as many mistakes as possible. I'm 51, I even do mistakes. And I'm very happy when I do mistakes. And I want to do mistakes when I'm 60, because that shows at least I'm working. Because if you are not doing mistakes, you are not working. There's not even a single human being on this world who says, I have so much experience, I have not done mistakes, come and learn from me. I have not seen anybody in my life, my career, and I haven't read about anyone. The day you stop doing mistakes is the day I think you have retired. Because even you have stopped doing the mistakes and you have retired, that's your biggest mistake, because you're staying home. So anyway, so we created this vertical destination. We are at the edge of the river. Bangkok has a river called Chao Phraya River. How we got that inspiration that we have to do this is because our hotel is the only homegrown company at that stretch of river. We have every possible brand And we are surrounded by, I think, 22 hotels with 22 international brands. But we are still the best performing hotel. And 40% of our top management is Indian. In year 2003, and it is on Google, when I started at this place, there was a comment, how can this place be a luxury when an Indian is running it? And it is still on Google. It's on the Google comment. It's not, there's nothing to be, the best answer you give to the world is you prove it to them and show it to them. Today, what we have created, not only in Thailand, not only in India, nowhere in the world, anybody can compete with the quality, the product, the number of outlets, the amount of customers, the amount of customer spending that is happening at our place. We have created a brand of our own in this hospitality world, where even today, people count hotels or determine hotels by how many points I'm getting, how many locations this property has, how many rooms this property has. And that's what I'm saying. The size doesn't matter. What matters is what you are delivering to the people. At the end, what is you're getting, what is your expectation, and how is that delivery pattern taking place, and making sure that your expectations are matched or even in some cases is surpassed. Now this is something about us, but every time, last year I was here and I left few questions for the audience, and I'm going to also talk about 2 or 3 things. We talk about, I just met a gentleman here from KPMG. We talk about big 4 companies. In US, these big 4 companies work very differently. They take food and beverage as a great business model. There are a lot of money behind the food and beverage brands, the private equity, the banks, everybody is there. Most of the brands are created out of this country here in US. Most of the brands, not everything, and is franchised out. But when it comes to Asia, the whole model is upside down. Food and beverage is seen as the most volatile model. You go to any consultant and says, oh, food and beverage? No. We cannot look at this food and beverage. Means rooms is fine, fixed income is fine, rental income is fine, but food and beverage, no, it is a very volatile business. No, it's a very risky business. We cannot be looking at this. We cannot give you that kind of valuation. To come out of that area and create a brand like that out of Asia is something amazing. I was at the New York Times conference, and there was one speaker, and the debate was, where would be the next big brand come from? And everybody said, after 10 years, the next big brand will come from either China or it will come from India, the luxury brand. Because the skill set is moving from west to east, but that packaging part is not moving. You know something? I don't agree to that. If we want to package, if we want to know how we can make something very unique to our customers, India could be producing the next top 10 luxury brands. Right now, everybody is running after money because the money is at the bottom of the pyramid. That's where the money lies because the base becomes bigger. But at the top of the pyramid, there are a lot of, how would I say, chances. There are a lot of scope. But are we looking at that? That is one question we have to see. In Asia, the only place which has taken luxury to a higher level is Japan. Because after World War II, it was Japan which wanted to show its financial independence. And 3 generations back or 4 generations back, they started buying branded goods. And now it has become a part of their daily routine. For them, if they're wearing a Prada or a Gucci or a Louis Vuitton or Hermes, it's part of daily routine or life. My question would be that these big 4 companies and the banks have to open their mind. There was the first panel which spoke about the financial structures in India and everything, and there were some blames on infrastructure and there were some blames on the government, but I would reverse this and would put a blame on the local banks, on the private equities that are entering the market. My point is that why you work differently in United States of America and why you work differently when it comes to India or when it comes to the Asian part of the world. So this is my question that I'm going to leave all that with you. And there's one thing which I want to say before if anybody has to ask any question. And this is how one magazine described Labua. They said, if you visit Rome and you don't visit Vatican, it is fine. But if you visit Bangkok and not visit Labua, it is a sin. So next time any one of you visiting Bangkok, I don't want you to commit a sin. Do visit Labua. Thank you. If anyone wants to ask anything.
Yeah, we have one question.
Yes, please.
Hi. What marketing campaign did you use and when did you start it? So you mentioned that you only had your promoter's mother, the promoter and yourself in the hotel. So when was that year and when did you start your marketing campaign and what did you do?
Okay, so that thing we began at 1st December 2003, that we were there at the Sky Bar. And we started our marketing campaign in year 2004, that was February 2004. We used advertising to begin with. Second thing what we did was, and a very good question you asked, second thing we did was a customer research from day one. And I actually wanted to hire a company out of Singapore. That time that company office was not in Bangkok. And I spoke to them and says, how many restaurants you have? How big is your company? So even doing marketing also was difficult when we were ready to spend the money. So I said, oh, we have only one restaurant. He said, how much is the revenue? I said, we have not yet started. So he says, how old are you? That time I was 35. He says, can I give you one advice, young man? I said, yes. He says, save the money. Save the money and invest in your restaurant. You don't need a customer research. But one thing we do as a marketing, we don't market. We follow Red Bull formula. Our marketing is very subtle and we do not innovate. The innovation is, if anyone use a word called innovation in our organization, he's out of our organization. We work on improvisation. So in year 2003, we created Sirocco, and this is what we are creating in year 2019. What you see is another trend. Again, it is an improvisation. So we were the 4th rooftop restaurant in year 2003 in the world. Today, there are more than 8,000 rooftop restaurants. And what the technology here, what we are using, we are the 2nd one in the world right now. Hopefully, there will be more after this whole trend will pick up. So what we are doing is we are starting a new game. But yes, marketing we do very, very subtle. So there's only improvisations. We reach our customers in a very different manner, which is quite expensive, and the result takes a little bit longer period of time, but this is what we do. I hope I have been able to answer your question. Sort of.
Unfortunately, we are running out of time and we'll have to start another one here.
Yeah, okay.
Can we do it? You can do it offline. He'll be
Okay.
here. Yeah, we'll be starting the talk by Dr. Chopra shortly here. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.